Hello, welcome to Writings from the Hills. My name is Lori. This week we are starting with Carl York, The Untouchables Coach. This is by Joe Heinz, and this is actually about a team from Fairland. So this is a really local book. This is during the 1960-61 school year. The green-clad cavern slaves Chuck Taylor, all sporting Untouchables of the Fairland High School, became the center of attention in southern Ohio. Their love of the game was obvious to all who watched them, and they stayed connected to the challenges they faced with them every week. And it was York who motivated them from day in and day out. And for those of you who catch our children's booklets that are out, the Briggs Library Presents, we actually talk a little bit about Carl York in that booklet. And we're going to start, let's start with the introduction, because that's the beginning. Let's just start there. You only had to meet Carl Nathan York once. That's the sort of incredible effect he had on those whose lives he touched. In the short time he spent on this earth, he arguably affected untold scores of people who would come to know, love, and respect him as a husband, father, teacher, coach, mentor, and more. This is the true and amazing account of Coach York, who passed away in 1994 at the young age of 66 from a fast-spreading cancer. Though nobody enters this world immortal, Carl Nathan York has earned the figurative honor thanks to the life of service that made him a beloved household name in the hardscrabble tri-state area where he lived, worked, worshipped, and played. For the better part of the half-century, I hoped and waited for someone else to surface with the biography of Coach York, a tenacious individual who emerged from the coal fields of West Virginia to become an outstanding role model before his untimely passing. When no one did, I responded to an urge to honor him myself through the eyes and voices of others beside me, and thus this book. While you're holding in your hands is my best effort, penned by someone who doesn't pretend to be a professional writer, but is compiled and written from the heart, and I think sometimes that counts as much as thumbing through a slick read when the author wasn't half as physically connected as I am to this subject. In these pages, I simply attempted to put together a book about Carl York, the Mullins, West Virginia native, his life, his family, and phenomenal 1960-1961 high school boys basketball team known as the Untouchables. Carl York was one of a kind, different in heart and soul, the sort of man who literally would give you the coat off his back if you needed it. He lived on a mountain in the coal fields of West Virginia, walking barefoot 2.5 miles to school every day. He appreciated and worked hard for everything he had, because he came from and lived through the post-Depression era. Born the second of 13 children, he wore clothes made by his loving mother. Never one to complain, Carl forged ahead to make a better life for himself, and he always gave credit to the coaches Louis D'Antoni, T.C. Wyatt, and Erstal Toller for taking interest in him at an early age. He spent the rest of his life paying it forward, helping anyone who needed a voice of reason, a shoulder to cry on, and someone to believe in them. Well, it's just the beginning of this excellent story, Carl York, The Untouchable Coach by Joe Heinz. And if you would like to check this out, go to our website at www.briggslibrary.com. You can also request a copy by calling any of our locations. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.